Hey Aries, I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly tarot scope for the week of June 3rd to the June 9th. Can you believe that it's June? I almost forgot. All right, guys, so you know how this goes. We have 3 cards to take us through the week. Let's see what we got going on for you guys this week. All right, first card up is the Ten of Pentacles. So I feel like in the beginning of the week, Aries, we have you feeling really comfortable and really confident. I think some of you have been making some life choices that you're proud of right now. I think for others of you, you're just kind of kicking it back and sort of enjoying life. I think that there's a sense here of comfort, but like hard fought for comfort. So whether it's like a personal journey, whether it's like in the material world, when we have pentacles, we are talking about things like money and career. But for me, with this card, the Ten of Pentacles is always sort of like an emotional card in a way. It's a card of creature comforts. It's a card of feeling secure. And I think here in the beginning of the week, Aries, we have you feeling really secure about the choices you've been making, what you've been doing, the moves you've been making. Just the way you've been living your life. I think in the beginning of the week, you feel really good about the way things have been going with that regard. Feel really good about how you've been shaping your life and how you've been kind of building towards something, right? All right, and Aries, in the middle of the week, we have death. So just as we have these feelings of comfort and security, we have a sort of shakeup. Now, for me, guys, I think that this is actually a release. So Aries, this week, I do see you sort of letting go of something in the middle of the week, letting go of a bad habit, an attitude, a belief, whatever it is. I think it is directly related to how you feel in the beginning of the week with this Ten of Pentacles energy of comfort and security. And I think that it's sort of like, when you get to a good place in your life and now you have no time for certain things, right? You have no patience for certain things. You just don't have space in your life anymore for bullshit. And the middle of the week, Aries, sees you releasing something, sees you letting go of something that's, I think, kind of been lingering for a while. And coming to peace, coming to terms with what is being released, having some sort of really sense of security, like that this is meant to be, and that now is sort of a timing for you, Aries, to let go of an old way of being and invite in something new. At the end of the week, Aries, we have Queen of Swords. So what's happening here is that here by the end of the week, you're feeling really solid in who you are. The Queen of Swords is someone who stands in her truth, but stands in her truth strongly, right? So here you see this, there's sort of this story here that's being told this week, Aries, where we go from this place of comfort, and from this place of comfort and security, we allow ourselves to release what used to be. Again, it feels like something that's already kind of old, like kind of just shedding an extra skin, like it just has to be let go of. And then here at the end of the week, we have you guys standing in your truth, standing in your power, standing in your honesty. I think the theme of the week here for you guys is really getting grounded in what's true for you, what's honest for you, being really strong in that sense of being secure in your truth, being secure in what is right for you, right? I think there's a story here for you guys this week, Aries, of learning to come to terms with what is your truth, right? No one else's. This is you, Aries, in your lane. This is you knowing your story, your journey, your path. And this week brings you a little closer to that. At the bottom of the deck, guys, we have the Nine of Cups. So being really driven, I think, by emotional security, being emotional happiness. This to me, Aries, when I'm looking at this card here, makes me feel very strongly like there's a time in your life right now that is sort of like there's a fed up energy here, right? There's a sort of sense of I'm done with not being happy. I'm done with having less than. My eye is on the prize. My eye is on happiness. My eye isn't on what I'm supposed to do or what other people tell me I should be doing or what my circumstances, my family have been telling me I'm supposed to do. This is you guys wanting the thing that makes you independently, truly happy for yourselves. And that's why this week sees you guys kind of releasing a lot of bullshit that doesn't work anymore and being ready to embrace what's new and next. All right, Aries, keep a lookout this week for your June tarot scopes. That's coming to you soon. You guys have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. Adios. Bye-bye. Hey, Taurus. I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly tarot scope for the week of June 3rd to June 9th. All right, guys, so you know how this goes. We have 3 cards to take us through the week. Let's see what we got going on for you here. All right, Taurus, so starting off the week, we have, I almost said the Virgo, Hermit. So maybe some of you are dealing with Virgos. There's something about them that brings you into the state of like introspection. But either way, Taurus, wow, why am I keep mixing you guys up? Taurus, with the Hermit starting off our week, it's a time of planning. It's a time of introspection. I think in the beginning of the week, you guys are kind of processing some recent events. You're processing, what's been happening in your life and where you want to go. This feels like a sort of timeout for you guys. It feels like maybe you've been going, and now there's a sort of moment, I think, in the beginning of the week where we need to step back and really go within and see where are we at and where we're going. The Hermit here is about self-leadership, and it's about self-leadership through your wisdom, through your experience, through your own sense of judgment and being able to trust yourself. And Taurus, you guys have a reputation for being stubborn, but I think it's because you have such a strong sense of intuition and knowing what's right, even if it's not what's right for everybody, knowing what's right for yourself. And the beginning of the week, Taurus, has you in that space where you're maybe stepping back from the world, stepping back from going, and now sort of considering now where you're going, right? Where are you now? What is your intuition telling you are the moves you need to make right now? Beginning of the week, Taurus, pay very close attention to your intuition. Pay attention to what you're naturally drawn to. Pay attention to what is exciting to you, what gets your blood pumping, that's the direction you need to go in right now, right? The fire, the spark inside you. I think this week is something to be trusted and something to be followed. So if you're getting inclinations in the beginning of the week, you're getting intuitive, drawing to something. If you feel helplessly drawn towards something, Taurus, beginning of the week, I definitely encourage going towards it. I think there's something to be learned there. I think there's something to be gained there, and some greater perspective on what is what's in store for you going forward, right? What you need to do to go forward, what you need to invest in, time-wise and energy-wise, right? Beginning of middle of the week, Taurus, we have the King of Wands. So we're definitely here, I think, talking about career stuff, right? With the King of Wands, he's laser focused on what he wants to accomplish. He's laser focused on his passions. So here again, we have this theme of fire here, right? With the Wands and fire, and the Hermit with the lamp here. So Taurus, this week is a week to really trust your passions, really trust your gut and what your gut is telling you. Here with the King of Wands, now we have that spark of fire, that spark of passion, that spark of this is what I should do, this is what I want, this is what I need. And with this card, now we're going in that direction. Now we not only have the light to guide us, but now that light is sort of like a laser beam, like it's focused, it's showing us where we're going. It's a sort of tenacity. Taurus, I think that there's sort of a middle of the week shaking you out of a stupor a little bit. I think that, not that you guys aren't hustling, but you always hustle, but there's a feeling here of illumination. There's a feeling here of understanding what's up now, right? Understanding where we're going now, understanding what is honest for you, what is true, what ignites you. And again, Taurus, I'm just going to say it again. I think this is a week very much to go in the direction of your passions and go in the direction of what is just catching your eye, right? All right, end of the week, Taurus, we end up with the Eight of Swords. So with the Eight of Swords coming right after this, we see like there's sort of an obstacle. There's sort of a self-limitations imposed. I think what's going to happen here, guys, is towards the end of the week, something might happen or something might be said that makes you doubt yourself, that makes you question your goals, makes you question your ambition. What I want to say here, guys, is that in the course of life, I think when we have these two cards right next to each other, this is like an obstacle here. Then it's an obstacle that needs to be overcome. It's an obstacle that needs to be addressed for you to move forward, right? It's almost as if like on the path towards what you want to accomplish, there are going to be obstacles, and it's sort of like the universe asking you if you're going to like man or woman up and face them and overcome them, because to get the things that you want, to get the things that you're aspiring towards, that you're focused on, you have to be willing to overcome the hurdles. So at the end of the week, Taurus, I'd say quiet self-talk. The theme of this week right here, guys, is to just trust intuition and go in that direction. There's a lot of potential mental chatter that could throw you off course. There's a lot of mental chatter or other people's opinions or just little voices that come up in your head that spark a little self-doubt and present an obstacle. Remember this week, Taurus, that any obstacles that are in your way is sort of a challenge from the universe, as if like, do you really want the thing that you say you want? So think of it this way, Taurus. Think of it as, you're that bull, and here's one of those, I forget what they're called, with the thing that you jump over, hurdles. Obviously, and this end of the week, this doubt, this self-questioning, this maybe a little bit of insecurity is just sort of a test that you need to rise up to say, I'm not going to let this hold me back. I'm not going to let this make me think differently about myself or differently about the things that I want to accomplish. And in fact, this is part of the challenge. This is part of the obstacle. This is part of the journey, right? Bottom of the deck, Taurus, it's Seven of Pentacles. So I think we got this before, and what's been happening here is that there's been a real waiting period, and I think that there's been some frustrations, and I think we talked about this in a recent reading with you guys, where there's sort of this action that's spurred by not waiting and being impatient. And I think, Taurus, what happens here is that you've been patient long enough, and I think what you're looking for now is the payoff, and you're looking now for well, what is this sacrifice that I've been doing gonna get me? What is this path that I've been on gonna get me? This week is a time to seriously think about the consequences and the payoffs and the rewards for whatever it is that you've been struggling with. Is this worth what you're going through? Is this worth the sacrifice? Alternately, like, have you been sacrificing enough to get the thing that you want, right? So think very much about pros and cons this week, Taurus. Think very much about, is it time now to act, or is it time to abandon this thing? I think that's what space you're going to be in, where you have to consider this, and I think it's going to be very clear to you the direction you need to go in, and your intuition, your passions, just like whatever guts, like go with your indulgent feelings this week, Taurus. Go with like the thing that just feels pleasurable and feels passionate and exciting. There's no time to think twice about it this week. Just go in that direction, and I promise you guys it's going to pay off. All right, Taurus, so that's your week here. Keep an eye out. Your June readings are coming soon, and I'll talk to you guys next week. All right, bye-bye. Hey, Gemini, I'm Chris. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 3rd to June 9th. All right, guys, so we have 3 cards here to take us through the week. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on for you here. All right, so Gemini, starting off the week with the 9 of Swords. I feel like this is a lot of worry here, right? I think that what's been going on for us, Gemini, oh, by the way, happy June. We're starting June now, the heart of our season. Here, though, there's a lot of, when I look at this 9 of Swords, it feels very much to me like some residual worry, right? It almost feels like when I look at this card, like when are the obstacles going to end? When is the stress going to end? Gemini here, though, what I feel when I look at this is that any feelings in the beginning of the week of stress, of disasters, of heavy weights and heavy thoughts, the important thing is to recognize that these things aren't quite as real as you think they are. Right? So I think the message here, starting off the week, Gemini, is to bring some perspective to your life, bring some perspective to what you're going through. Your obstacles are not you, your challenges and stressors are not you, and they're not part of the bigger picture of your life. Keep in mind, Gemini, like one day you're going to look back on this time and these little stresses and realize that's exactly what they are, little stresses, little nagging things that don't matter. But the thing is that once they add up, once you've been dealing with it for a while, it can feel very heavy. So Gemini, if you have experienced heavy feelings, heavy thoughts, sort of wanting to berate yourself a little bit, wanting to beat up on yourself a little bit, be very gentle with yourself, especially in the beginning of the week, and know that whatever is weighing on you is not as big of a deal as it feels, right? Remember that how things feel are not exactly how they are, okay? Middle of the week, Gemini, we have the Tower. So some things coming to light, right? With the Tower, it's sort of epiphanies, it's sort of realizations. We have things that kind of shake us, right? We have these moments that sort of mess with our foundations. test our foundations, right? Test the security of our foundation. To me, Gemini, what we see in the middle of the week, I think what we're all talking about here so far, it isn't necessarily always going to be external things. I think that what we're talking about here with you guys, with us, is sort of personal tests, right? So I think with these two cards, I don't see cataclysm in your life. Like, I don't think like you're going to lose your job or things are going to fall apart for you in a real way. But I think this week is going to test sort of your security with yourself, test your ability to overcome negative self-talk, test your ability to build yourself up and to know what's honest and know what's true. The Tower can be a very liberating moment where you just sort of have these moments that acknowledge or bring to light the fact that things need to change. So I think, Gemini, in the middle of the week, there's going to be some things. I feel like there's been gradual growth and improvement and good feelings. And this week, there's sort of going to be things that test your resilience, and there I think are further things that need to be addressed, and I think that's partly what's causing some of this heaviness, right? Let's say if it's like a job situation, this beginning of the week is going to be stressful. People are going to put things on you that you don't want to be put on. Maybe you'll get blamed for something, or maybe you're just have too much work, right? And then what the message there is, Gemini, is it might be time to leave, right? This honesty, this truth, this pain that you might be experiencing is an indication, is a flash of intuition, a flash of understanding that says it's time to move forward and to release this thing that's kind of been weighing on you. Gemini, at the end of the week, this is beautiful. This came up in our May reading, Gemini, and this is exactly what I love to see. After the Tower, there's no better card to see than Judgment, right? This is literally our structures falling apart, and then in Judgment, they rise anew. So Gemini, I think towards the end of this week, you're going to feel brand new. You're going to feel invigorated. You're going to feel optimistic. I think you're going to feel hopeful. With Judgment, it's calling us to a new life, a new way of being, a new understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. So Gemini, I think that there could be good news for some of us at the end of the week with regards to something that brings about a new way of life, like again, maybe a new job, right? But if it's not that, Gemini, it's at least very much feelings going to this weekend of being energized, being revitalized. These dudes are coming, not dudes, it's a female too, but they're coming back to life from the dead. They're being reinvigorated. They're being revitalized, right? So for some of us, I think there is going to be actual good news or things that come our direction that bring about a new way of being. But for some of us, it's just going to be a feeling of being brand new and being refreshed and being hopeful and being optimistic. You see, in Gemini, the reason this is happening is because with the Fool at the bottom of the deck, a new phase of life is starting, and a lot of things are still needing to be let go of, right? So what this is here, I think, is things that still need to be released. The Fool says we're starting over, we're starting a new chapter, and we're just at the beginning of that chapter, right? So two cards here of freshness, of newness, of new beginnings, of reinvigoration, of listening to our intuition and listening to the universe and following that direction without question, without doubt, without any of this stuff, insecurities, and just knowing that we're on the right path. Anything that comes this way this week, Gemini, that's a little rough, that's a little like difficult to swallow, is just like a growing pain. Think of it that way, right? And you're almost out of the woods and we're just starting fresh. So be optimistic this week. Be hopeful, be happy. Like this is a week to train your thoughts, right? To train your thoughts away from pessimism, away from dwelling on the negative, away from constantly telling yourself bad things about yourself, and work on refocusing your attention on what's coming that's brand new, on the newness that you have in your life that is going to be really exciting. And I think this week you start to feel some of the excitement of the next chapter of your life, Gemini. It's our birthday season, right? So whenever we have a solar return, we sort of start to reflect on where we've been and also where we're going, and it's very optimistic, it's very hopeful. All right, guys, have a great week. Keep a lookout this week for your June Taroscopes, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, Cancer. I'm Chris. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 3rd to June 9th. All right, so let's jump right into it. You guys know how this works. We have 3 cards to take us through the week. Let's see what we got going on for you this week, Cancer. Hey, beautiful start to the week, Cancer. We have the Ace of Cups. So this is just happiness. This is feeling on top of the world. This is feeling loved. This is feeling supported. This is feeling like things are going well. With the Ace of Cups, we feel supported by the universe. We feel the abundance of the universe, right? So in the beginning of the week, guys, maybe it's residual from this weekend, right? Maybe you had some great times with loved ones. Maybe you spent time with people you care about, and you go into the beginning of the work week feeling just a little high on life, a little high on love, feeling capable of conquering things, feeling capable of taking things on. The beginning of the week has you feeling really good, really sweet, really like, I almost feel the feeling of just like things are good. You know, when you just have those moments where you're high on life, the beginning of the week, Cancer, has you feeling a little high on life, has you feeling just like loving yourself, loving your life, loving the world, like just being surrounded by this energy of love and abundance in the world and in life. In the middle of the week, Cancer, we have the King of Wands. So this is you guys taking control of your careers, really being focused on where you're going, being really willful here. I think the King of Wands has you, Cancer, in a place of feeling powerful and feeling in control. I think is the message here, right? It's a sense of understanding the control, I think, that you have over your life, control that you have over your surroundings and your atmosphere and your environment. Being really rooted, Cancer, this week, and knowing that you're capable of creating happiness, you're capable of creating joy, you're capable of having and creating for yourself just through your willpower, through your sheer desire for it, to create almost anything you want. So Cancer, the middle of the week is a great time to tap into that energy, especially with regards to your career. So if you're looking, like sending out a lot of job applications, telling people that you're looking, with regards to anything else in your personal life, knowing just how much you can shape things. So if you're not really happy with the way things have been, Cancer, knowing you have the ability to change it. But what I think this is more so is having moments of recognition of how much you've been able to control your life, how much control you've taken of things, and knowing and seeing and feeling sort of validated for your ability to affect change for yourself and your ability to create a really beautiful environment and a really beautiful life for yourself. Ending the week, Cancer, with a little bit of conflict, right? With the Five of Wands, we have like little spats with people, right? This is petty disagreements. This is petty little arguments. You might just not feel super social this weekend, right? You might just not feel like you're meshing with people or like you really want to be around. So for like, I'm thinking with regards to the weekend, guys, this weekend might have you not really feeling like you want to be around people. Maybe you have some instances this week with petty disagreements. I think that there's something here, Cancer, about something that throws you off your game with regards to how you interact with other people. It's not going to throw you off your personal game, but I think that this is one of those moments where it's like someone says or does something petty and it puts you in a bad mood, and now like you feel like you don't fit into a group, or you feel like you don't want to be a part of something that's happening, celebration that might be happening this weekend. Just a little bit of out of sorts with regards to other people by the end of this weekend. So Cancer, it's not a bad idea this weekend to maybe stick to yourself, stick to close friends. If you are going to be out socializing this weekend, I would say keep your circle tight, you know. If you guys are cool with being homebodies this weekend, I'd say do that. Spend time around people who make you feel calm, people who make you feel supported, because there's a lot of potential here, Cancer, this weekend to get into little disagreements, little petty things with people that feel that way. Exactly, it's like pettiness, right? It's not even like you need to work something out. It's like stupid stuff. It's like things that are just like, why am I dealing with this? Why am I having this argument with this person? Why are we fighting? This is so dumb. Bottom of the deck, Cancer, we have Ace of Pentacles. So a lot of what's happening is that there's been newness in your life, right? A new job, a new place where you live. With the Ace of Pentacles, it says that what's been happening here, it's all a result of a new start to your life, and a new start to your life in a material way. So some of you guys might be very focused on your finances. There could have been a recent move. There could have been a recent new position that you take at work. Whatever it is, Cancer, the things that are happening this week, and the reason that there's sort of this high on life feeling, this focus on the future, this focus on getting that bag this week, Cancer, is because you got a taste of it. You got a taste of new life. You start to feel the potential. You know, the King of Wands is somebody who knows what they have to offer, who knows what life has to offer, who knows the potential that life has to offer, right? So Cancer, keep in mind that, you know, anything that comes up this weekend with disagreements, with fights with people, with arguments, there's too much at stake, there's too much goodness in your life, there's too much happiness, there's too much newness for you to let that bring you down. It's sort of like a little hurdle, a little obstacle. Jump right over it, Cancer. Keep on moving, because this is just the ace. So it has to still sprout. It still has to grow. There's so much more. There's so much more here too with this love, right? There's just so much that you have, Cancer. There's so much abundance in your life right now, that this week, and I think going to June and going to the summer and going to your season soon is going to be about fostering all the potential that you've created for yourself, and fostering all the newness and all the happiness and all the things that you've created for yourself. All right, Cancer. So like I said, it's June. So June tarot scopes are coming out this week. Keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, Cancer, you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey Leo, I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly reading for June 3rd to June 9th. All right, so guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We have 3 cards to take us through the week. Let's see what we got going on for you guys. All right, so Leo, starting off the week with the Princess of Pentacles. I really love this because with the Princess of Pentacles, there's an enthusiasm, there's an excitement for life, there's a sort of joie de vivre with regards to our money and with regards to our careers. So some of you, and this is also could be a sense of newness, right? Because with the Princess of Pentacles, we are starting out the journey to become the Master of Pentacles, right? The King of Pentacles. So Leo, I think in the beginning of the week, a lot of really lighthearted feelings about your job, about your work, about your money. Specifically for some of you guys, this could be a new job. This could be excitement at work. This could be just feeling really good and feeling really focused and driven on your career goals and your ambitions. Some of you, what this means is like your money's getting put to a use that is exciting to you. So this could be some kind of news of money coming in. This could be money spent to book a vacation or something like that. Whatever it is, Leo, in the beginning of the week, there's a freshness to your financial energy. There's a newness. There's an excitement. There's a optimism and looking towards the future and being really excited about what's to come. Very lighthearted, fun, good spirits, but also very focused and very driven. So with regards to, like, say, if it is a new job, we are looking at being really, really focused on where it's going to take you, right? Like where your career is going to go from here, building up the ladder, going up in that way, right? So Leo, beginning of the week, really fresh energy, really enthusiastic energy, really feeling ready to take it on. This is like someone who's young and vivacious and ready to really like conquer things and really ready to go forward and move forward what it is that you want to accomplish. Middle of the week, Leo, we have the Knight of Swords. So lots of fresh energy, lots of movement, lots of playfulness this week, and lots of feelings of like youthfulness and energy and being really excited. Both of these cards are very excited cards, very, very act first, think later kind of energy, right? Very like put yourself through it to get to what you want. Middle of the week, Leo, this could actually also be in what I'm seeing, what I'm getting from this now is also maybe another person. So for some of you guys, this sort of youthful energy that comes into play this week is from another person. The Prince of Wands is somebody who is very articulate, very likes to do fun things. It reminds you of very Gemini energy, right? Very, very fun-loving, very enthusiastic, very talkative, very just go for it, right? And if it's not someone else in the middle of the week, Leo, and if this is your energy, what we're looking at here is really moving forward, really like having your eye on the prize and knowing exactly what you want. Some of the reasons that the Knight of Swords like is act first and think later is because he trusts himself and he knows what he needs and he knows what he wants. So Leo, I think in the middle of the week, a lot of clarity about where you're headed, a lot of clarity about your direction, and not just the clarity though, it's the actual movement. With the Knights, we have movement in the direction that we want to go in. It's something's happening, right? So Leo, in the beginning of in the middle of the week, there's going to be feelings of things happening for you, things that it's almost like there's almost this push. What I'm feeling is like a push and play with the universe itself, right? Like, so as you start to make moves forward, as you start to get on that grind and get on the hustle, like things start to happen around you that are almost like air beneath your wings and kind of like push you forward and get things going for you. So a mix of your own hustle, Leo, and also like good things coming your way, opportunities coming your way. End of the week, Leo, we have the Seven of Wands. So this is overall a week of just feeling really lighthearted and really strong. Leo, like you guys are in your power right now. You are making things happen. The Seven of Wands, the end of the week. I feel, this is weird, I don't really feel this way, but I guess we're talking about the weekend, about this card. There's an element of socializing. There's an element of fun and play and silliness. Sometimes this card can represent confusion and having too much coming at you at once. But Leo, I think that you have the energy. Look, we have right here, we have this card is represents Mars and Leo. So it's that fiery go-getter energy in your sign, which is really making you passionate, really making you excited. This week could be a big party week for you guys, Leo. This weekend rather. This weekend could be a weekend of socializing, a weekend of getting out there, a weekend of feeling invincible is what I feel like, right? Leo, this whole week has you guys feeling sort of untouchable, has you feeling like you're going to make happen what you want to make happen for yourself, and no one's going to put you off course, and nothing is going to throw you off. With the Seven of Wands, you have the energy to push back against the bullshit. You have the energy to do the things that are necessary for yourself. So Leo, at the end of this week, in addition to fun and like this sort of fun chaos, feeling like you have the energy to take steps and strides that you maybe known for a while that you've needed to take, whether it's regards to a person, a situation, whatever it is. Leo, like having the wherewithal, having the energy, having the passion and the drive to really sort of advocate for yourself and do what you need to do for you. Leo, ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So the reason this is all happening, guys, is because a thing that was long overdue to be ending is over, and now it's time to start fresh and move forward. The Ten of Swords says it's defeat, but it's like necessary defeat. It's like acknowledge that this thing is broken. Acknowledge that this thing is dead, bro. Like just let it die. And so Leo, something in your life you've been letting die, right? Some part of your life is over, is finished. This sort of thing that you've been holding on to, this sort of thing that you've been going through for a while, this week you start to see how much that part of your life is done and how much you're ready for what's new and fresh and next. Right? All right, Leo, so keep a lookout this week for your June tarot scopes, and have a great week, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. What's up, Virgo? I'm Chris. Welcome to your tarot scope for the week of June 3rd to the 9th. All right, guys, so we're just going to go ahead and jump in this week. We have 3 cards to take us through the week. Let's see what we got going on for you guys. All right, so Virgo, starting off the week with the Five of Cups. There's a little sorrow here with the Five of Cups. There's a little sense of regret. I think that what's happening for you guys in the beginning of the week is sort of, there's some regretful things that you're dealing with, right? I think that what I'm picking up or what I'm getting is the idea of, or what it's, I hate saying picking up because it sounds so like woo, but really like what this card is making me feel is that there's a sort of sense of personal regret, right? Like maybe some choices that you should have made that you didn't make, or that you regret making, right? Some dwelling on the past, some dwelling on, but I feel like it's as a result of what you're going through now. So Virgo, there might be in the beginning of the week a lot of looking back on something, a lot of looking back on yourself, and maybe a little bit of self-pity, maybe a little bit of reflection that makes you wonder like why you made the choices that you did, or maybe just thinking about, someone or something from the past. I think that this is very personal. It feels like it's very internal. Virgo, it feels like There's a sense of identity here, so it's like you're self-reflecting a little bit with regards to this regret, with regards to maybe something you said or did in the past that you're not happy with yourself for, or just again a choice that you've made in the past that you're not happy with about. Or what this could be also, Virgo, is something that happens in the beginning of your week that puts you in this place. I feel again a big sense of dwelling on the past here, Virgo. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to come up for you guys, but a trigger in the beginning of the week that makes you really look back and have a little sadness and have a little regret. But what I think I need to say here, Virgo, what I'm getting is that this is the past and this is done. And as much as you might be feeling things or things are coming up to the surface, it's like it's old news. It's sort of like literally like you can't cry over spilt milk. It's spilt. You know what I mean? So Virgo, if you have these feelings in the beginning of the week of woulda, coulda, shoulda, just let go and move forward, because there's nothing you can do about it now, right? So no time for regret this week, Virgo. No time for getting in your feelings. Even if you legitimately in the beginning of the week, Virgo, do something wrong or bad or out of character or something that like hurts somebody, it's done, old news, move forward, learn from it and grow. Talk about growing in the middle of the week, Virgo, we have the King of Pentacles. So focusing again on what you want to create. So this is beautiful energy, Virgo, because what happens here is that you have this sort of regret, you have this sort of looking back, you have this sort of sadness, you have this sort of feeling of being without and questioning things. And then what the middle of the week shows is that's not going to hold you down, right? So this is what I said about focusing on the future. With the King of Pentacles, he's manifesting, he's creating. It's almost like one of the feelings like you take that, like, you know, the way like something grows out of like shit, like literally how shit makes things grow. That's the feeling I'm getting here in the middle of the week, Virgo, where any of those, any bad feelings, any regret, any personal struggles or obstacles that you're dealing with, it becomes fodder to make something new. It becomes motivation. It becomes impetus for you to say, fuck that noise. I'm going to take the reins of my life and I'm going to make something brand new out of this shit that I've been handed, right? So Virgo, middle of the week, really taking control of your life, really being oriented towards your progress in your career particularly, and with regards to your money especially, right? Being very future oriented. This has been happening a lot in my readings. I've been getting a minor, a court, and a major. It's like the who, what, and why of tarot. Quick little tarot lesson there, guys. So at the end of the week, Virgo, we have the Hermit. So it's your card. So I think with this big middle of the week sort of growth and constructive criticism of yourself and taking that bullshit that you've been weighed down with and making something new of it, at the end of the week, Virgo, we see you moving forward and kind of creating. Again, there's a big element here this week, Virgo, of like sort of self-creation, self-creating your journey, of being in control and being in the driver's seat of your own life. Here we have you guiding yourself forward with the Hermit at the end of the week. Now this could also be like not wanting to participate in certain things, not wanting to be super social, not wanting to be around people. But Virgo, I think what's going on here is that if you do feel that way, it's not like because you hate people or because you're like depressed and miserable. If you feel that way at the end of the week, it's because I think that you have new priorities, right? And you have things that you want to put your energy into, and you have things that you want to focus on and that are important to you. With the Hermit, it feels like a sort of prioritization of something that's very important to you, of saying fuck that noise when it comes to other things, and really being like laser focused on what you want to create, and knowing now, I think the things that draw you down, the things that weigh you down, being super aware because of this energy in the beginning of the week of what takes your energy from you and what's no longer worth holding on to. And with the Hermit, yes, there's that solitude, but in that solitude, there's a release of bullshit, and there's a release of the things that, you know, don't serve, right? So this weekend, Virgo, is a great time to take some time to yourself, to put time into your crafts, into your hobbies, into the things that are gonna make you grow and make you better and make you wiser and more competent and more capable. And the reason this is all happening, Virgo, is the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. So talk about being in your head, talk about being in your feelings. Like Virgo, you're already over a sign that thinks way too much. And with the High Priestess here, it's about that you guys have been connecting with your inner self, and you've been connecting with what really drives you. With the High Priestess is not, we always talk about as intuition and knowing, and there's a lot of that, like you guys have been knowing about what's, where there needs to be self-correction and where there needs to be adjustment in your life. But with this is about getting in touch with what really colors your life, right? With in the tarot, when we look at like the water cards, like the cups, they're the part of life that gives it meaning. They're the part of life that gives it color. They're part of life that, without life would just be drab and going through the motions and working for no purpose. And then with the High Priestess here, guys, you've been connecting to your greater purpose, and you've been connecting to the things that make you happy, and more than just happy, because happy is just a feeling that you feel for a moment, right? What really makes you feel like proud of your life, and what really makes you feel like you're on the right path and you're connected to whether it's super spiritual or not for you guys, it's connected to your higher purpose. It doesn't have to be spiritual necessarily, like something that's fateful, but something that like almost feels like you're meant to be doing, a way of life that you're meant to be with, a person you're meant to be with, a place, whether environmental or literally environmental or figurative, like a place in your life where you're supposed to be. With the High Priestess, you've been aligning with this. So this week, guys, you kind of now take control and take power and say, this is what I'm going to create. This is where I'm going, and I don't need nobody else. I know I have my little trusty companion here. I'm good, and this person, there might be someone in your life, Virgo, who that's why it's not about total solitude, the Hermit, because this can be symbolic, right? The snail, but to me right now it actually represents a person. So Virgo, you might have someone who's just on your side, someone who's motivating you, like a sort of cheerleader, who like is your partner in crime, right? Like you're like, might be a romantic partner, it could be a family member, it could be anything like that. But I think you're really driven right now, and you have people on your side this week, Virgo. All right, so keep a lookout this week. June tarot scopes are going to be coming at you guys. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hey Libra, I'm Chris. Welcome to your tarot scope for June 3rd to June 9th. All right, guys, so we're going to just jump right into it. We have 3 cards to take us through the week. Let's see what we got going on for you guys this week. All right, Libra. So starting off the week, we have the Emperor. So super powerful start to this week. I think with the Emperor starting off your reading, guys, there's a strong sense of taking control and being in power. I think, Libra, what this is saying is that you've kind of learned your worth. You've kind of learned your power. You've kind of learned what you deserve. And now you're ready to take control of that. I think a lot of you guys, with the Emperor, to me, there's always like a career element. So I think for some of you guys, you might be thinking about your future in your career. Where do you go? How do you climb the ladder? The Emperor asks us to be our best and do our best. And Libra, I think with the beginning of this card, I think it's also, I'm just getting a sense of like, not harshness, but needing to be a little tough and needing to be a little strong right now. I think what this is saying, Libra, is to sort of be okay with satisfying your ego and sort of be okay with satisfying like your desires and your wants, right? This is something that I think might need to be practiced this week, Libra, is just really owning, this is what I want, and so this is why I'm demanding it, right? Sort of asserting your ability, your power, sort of asserting the fact that you deserve what you want, Libra. So I'd say in the beginning of this week, it's a good time to practice I want, I deserve, I should have, and let that attitude sort of inform how you think about lots of things in your life, right? Because with the major arcana, we are looking at the big picture things in our life. So Libra, let that that part of you saying getting your ego satisfied in small ways, let that expand into like, okay, now how can I get the career I want? How can I get the place I want to live? Like I want, and that's a good thing, Libra. I want you to embrace that power, because with the Emperor, it's like sort of informed, right? It's not like you're, if this was someone who's actually in power saying, I'm going to just fulfill my needs and not think about anybody else, that'd be one thing, right? But this is sort of figurative for you guys here, and it's about owning your ability to lead yourself, owning your ability to know what's right and know what's good for you. And in doing that, be okay with demanding it, be okay with asking for it, particularly Libra, with regards to yourself, and being able to allow yourself to feel, I want, I deserve, and then getting it, and then like reveling in that, right? So Libra, in the middle of the week, we have death. So for a lot of you guys, I think what this is like, as you start to get your ego fulfilled, as you start to allow yourself to be satisfied, as you allow yourself to think of bigger things, I think that there's going to be a natural sort of release that comes from that. So Libra, I think that as you start to gain more, as you start to know what you're worth, as you start to know your value, as you start to know what you need and what you want, and more than knowing what you want, because I think that's easy, but knowing that you can have it, knowing that you're worthy of having it, certain things start to fall away. So with regards to bad relationships, regards to bad jobs, when you know what you deserve, then there's no way that stuff can still linger, right? There's no way that when you've seen the light about what kind of like significant other you want, that you're gonna allow fuckboys to linger around. So Libra, this is actually a really promising release of something in the middle of the week, a release of something that's holding you from really being in your greatest power, and not just like internal power, but power in the world. I think that there might have been something here, Libra, that's been sort of draining you and draining your energy and draining your ability to be as powerful and have the control over your life that you really aspire to have. So be okay if there's change that comes in the middle of the week, Libra. If you suddenly find yourself not caring about a person, if you suddenly find yourself realizing that it's time for you to start looking for new jobs, like with this card, you have the endless dance of death. It emphasizes cycles and release, and Libra, just like allow the sort of flow of the natural release of things that you know no longer suit you. Just let it go. End of the week, Libra, we have the Five of Pentacles, so don't be too discouraged. There's going to be a little bit of loneliness here. There's going to be a little bit of especially dealings with money, and a little bit of financial struggle with the Five of Pentacles. This card though says to me right now, Libra, to really look at your support system. Really look at what you need and who's around you, who can help uplift you, who can lend you $20 until like your next payday, who can be there for you when you have no one else there for you, even if it's just like you're sad because you don't have someone you're in love with, but you have a friend who will come over and drink wine and watch The Bachelor with you. Hopefully that's not the case. Okay, I'm not judging The Bachelor, but I am. Libra, either way, even though there's with this sorrow, with this heaviness, with this sort of feeling left out, I feel like a sort of sense of feeling left out of life and feeling left out of the way things are going, maybe for other people. It's important for you, Libra, by the end of the week, to remind yourself of what you do have, to count your blessings, and to count who's around to support you, who's there for you, who's willing to be there for you when times are hard. It's sort of like scraping up like the best that you can out of life. It's the Five of Pentacles asks us to be really patient and know that good things are coming, and to sort of be very resourceful right now with your energy with regards to your money. Be very resourceful with the people around you and who surround you and who can be there to support you. It might be someone you don't think about immediately. It might be a friend who maybe you discounted or something like that. But Libra, be very, this weekend, be very open to sources of support. Bottom of the deck, Libra, you have the Two of Swords. So what's happening here? All of this is happening because you're sort of at a crossroads in your life, right? You're sort of, I think you've been on a little bit of autopilot for a little while, Libra. I think that there's been a little bit of checked out energy, a little apathy, right? With the Two of Swords, there's an essence here of needing to sort of take a step back, to reflect, to think, to make wise decisions going forward. But for me right now, what I'm feeling looking at this is that there's a sense of having been a little too checked out for a little too long, right? Maybe being a little bit too much of a backseat driver of your own life. And so what's happening here, Libra, this week is that I think you're coming out of this place where you sort of felt like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I'm helpless. I need to just think more. I need to reflect more. I need to do this, that, and the other thing. And this week, Libra, sees you start to make moves forward and start to release the things that are making you feel like with the Two of Swords, I always feel like you sort of already know what the right thing to do is. It just requires some patience, some quiet, some solitude, some stepping back to understand what that is. And as you do that, you know what you need now and you go forward. All right, Libra, so June tarot scopes are coming out this week. Keep an eye out for those. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye. Hey, Scorpio. I'm Chris. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 3rd to June 9th. All right, guys, we're just going to go ahead and jump into this week. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on for you. We have 3 cards to take us through the week. All right, so Scorpio, starting off the week with the Tower. So not such a pleasant start to the beginning of the week, right? The Tower brings with it disruption. It brings with it sort of a shaking of our foundations. Now, for you guys, what I'm feeling here is that there's going to be some unpleasant truths that you kind of have to come to terms with. I don't think this is going to be earth-shattering necessarily, but I do think that there are going to be some things that you sort of can't look the other way about anymore. With the Tower, it makes us face the truth. It makes us come to terms with reality, whether we like it or not. So in the beginning of the week, Scorpio, maybe some very kind of unpleasant wake-up calls, some things that are sort of happening that make you feel a little out of sorts, that make you feel a little out of whack, maybe even feeling a little attacked, maybe blamed for certain things, maybe, I get that feeling is like sort of an attacked feeling. So I don't know if some of you guys in your work situations might find yourself being blamed for some things, or just like not given the credit you deserve, or in your relationships, maybe having certain hard realizations, I think, guys. But always remember with the Tower that it brings us closer to truth. It brings us closer to honesty. It brings us closer to what's real and what's important, and what really serves us our best, what really, because with this guy falling into the water, it's almost as if like you're reaping the rewards or you're feeling the consequences of like poor decisions. You're feeling the consequences of so if it is like, say, a work situation, something maybe you should have left behind a while ago, and now like things are happening that make you feel like, oh fuck, why didn't I make this change already, right? So sort of being tossed into this churning ocean of emotions. Be very careful, Scorpio, in the beginning of the week, to get too much in your feelings. Do your best, any disruptions that come in the beginning of the week, to take it in stride, to see the bigger picture, to see what this is doing, because the Tower is like a lightning bolt of illumination in a dark forest, where you sort of get to see all around you. You see you see the truth of things, right? So just taking a stride, and now with this information you have, with this knowing, with this gut feeling of what's right for you, go in that direction, and don't get too thrown by the sort of churning waters, or this like kind of harsh thing that happens in the beginning of the week. Because you see, in the middle of the week, we have the Six of Cups. So now we're finding joy. Now we're finding pleasure. The middle of the week, Scorpio, has you getting in touch with the things that are really important to you, especially coming after the Tower. This is a moment here, guys, of joy, of celebration, of happiness, of connecting to what's worthwhile. This could be for you guys, Scorpio, a sort of fuck it moment where you're tired of building these things that aren't working, and kind of go back to a very core simplicity about life, about what it is that you want to accomplish. The Six of Cups is very simple, like being nurtured at home by your parents when you were a child, like that kind of easy pleasure, that sort of easy happiness, that sort of easy way of life, and easy way of going through the world. So the middle of the week, Scorpio, connecting to the simple pleasures of life, connecting to the people who just put a smile on your face, connecting to family and close friends and the people who make you feel supported and loved and cared for and like it's gonna feel like everything's okay. You're gonna sort of have this moment in the middle of the week where after all these things that have been happening, all this like tumultuous feelings and energy, the beginning of the week sort of feeling like you're good. Like it's fine. It's fine. Scorpio, remember that mantra this week, okay? It's fine. Everything is fine. And to the weeks, there's a Scorpio who says that, who might be watching this, it's fine. Anyway, end of the look at this. What a beautiful way to end of the week, Scorpio. So fuck this noise. Whatever happened in the beginning of the week that threw you off the game, Scorpio. The middle of the end of the week, the rest of the week, there's pleasure, there's fulfillment, there's satisfaction. For those of you guys who like going out and having fun, this weekend's gonna be popping. It's gonna be so much fun, right? With the Three of Cups, we feel surrounded by loved ones, we feel joy, we feel pleasure, we feel like it's sort of like just a celebration of life, right? It's like what's that, isn't there a Rihanna song about like cheers to the freaking weekend, guys? That's what's going on here with you guys. So celebrate this weekend, have fun, reconnect to pleasure this week, reconnect to joy, reconnect to that it's fine energy, and just enjoy life, because it feels to me here like whatever happens, there's going to be so much more around you. Like it's almost like you don't even have to really look for it, Scorpio. I just feel like you're going to find yourself surrounded by people who care. You're going to find yourself in situations where you're just fun is easy and natural, and being loved and celebrating life is fun and natural. And there's this hope that comes here with the Three of Cups. There's this like trust in the universe, trust in your friends, trust in yourself, like this sort of knowing that things are good. And here we go. So Scorpio, at the bottom of the deck, the Queen of Swords. So a lot of what's happening here is that there's just truths here. There's the big theme. And it's funny because in all my readings, I've been getting one major, one minor, and one court card. And I was like, oh, there's no court card in this one. But there she goes. So the things that are happening this week, Scorpio, are because the truth is no longer something you can look the other way from. What's happening this week, Scorpio, is that with the Queen of Swords, we're standing, you have no choice but to own and be honest and be forthright and be clear, right? And to take no prisoners and to not shy away from things that might be difficult to swallow. This week, Scorpio, you have no choice but to have sort of swallowed those things. And to further my metaphor, it's like it might hurt a little bit going down, but you're gonna heal, and this is like that cool drink that you have that soothes your sore throat, and then by the weekend you're ready to take shots of tequila because you're good to go and everything's great, and what's done is done. The pain that you've experienced is past. It's just like, Scorpio, the only thing I can say one more time before I wrap up this reading is that the hardness, the difficult things that you've been dealing with are just the truth, and it's just honest. And there's nothing that, like, you don't want the pleasure that wasn't honest. You don't want the things that felt good but weren't really real. You know what I mean? All right, Scorpio, so keep a lookout this week for your June tarot scopes coming to you. Have a great week. Have a fun-ass weekend, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye. Hey, Sagittarius. I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly reading from June 3rd to June 9th. All right, guys, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right into this. You know how this goes. We have 3 cards to take us through the week. Let's see what we got going on for you guys this week. All right, Sagittarius, so starting off the week with the Queen of Pentacles, I love this for you guys. This is accomplishments. This is achievements. This is sitting back and being like, yeah, I did that, right? This is funny. My little sister's a Sag, and she just graduated college. So this is that kind of feeling here of like, having awareness of your worth, having an awareness of your abundance, and feeling abundant, feeling strong. The beginning of the week, Sagittarius, is going to have you feeling like you're on track, like you've been doing the right things, you've been organized, you've been putting in the work. You've been hustling, and you've been working hard. And the beginning of the week, Sagittarius, has you feeling the payoff of that. The Queen of Pentacles is just situated in all of her abundance, feeling herself, feeling her life, and it's feeling good. So Sagittarius, though, keep in mind, though, that you everything that's good that's coming for you right now, you've worked for, right? You've built towards. You've been putting in the time. You've been putting in the effort. I feel like I need to say that because I think that there's a sense here that some of you might not be connected to that sense of inner worth, because as much as the Queen of Pentacles is the master of like abundance and material things and money and material accomplishments, there's also a sense of warmth with her. There's a sense of heart with the Queen of Pentacles. And I feel like for some of you guys, there could be a need to connect to that heart source, right? Things are popping on the surface, Sagittarius, but how do you feel about what you have? And that doesn't mean that you're not happy about it, but to me, there feels like there's sort of a lack of like owning the achievement, owning the accomplishments, but there's some like sort of lingering, I don't know if it's sadness or not having the emotional abundance that maybe you were hoping to have, as much as things on the surface are feeling great. So Sagittarius, this beginning of the week, remind yourself, let yourself know that the material accomplishments, they're not just material, right? The pentacles are earth, but earth represents everything that we've worked for. It represents us, right? Like our money is not just paper, right? It's not just currency. It's a manifestation of our energy. It's a manifestation of our work. It's all the effort that we've put into our life become material. So if you're feeling, if there's a disconnect this beginning of the week, Sagittarius, between your external accomplishments and maybe how you're feeling on the inside, try to meld those two worlds and try to look at the material accomplishments and let that be a boost to your self-esteem. Let that be a boost to your sense of self-worth and what you're capable of. And if the emotional world, I don't know why I'm going there, the emotional world feels a little off for me, just look at what you've accomplished and say, yeah, I'm that bitch. You know? Middle of the week, Sagittarius, 7 of Pentacles. So it feels like there's a transition time here between having this accomplishments and having these achievements and reaping the rewards of your hard work, and then like sort of now like figuring out what's next, right? With the 7 of Pentacles, it's like, okay, now what do I do with this, right? What do I do? Where do I go with this? With a lot of times with this card though, guys, there's a sense here of like things are just not going to work out. With this card, it feels to me, guys, like anything that's sort of been lingering for a while, anything that sort of hasn't been working out, a relationship that hasn't been working out, a job situation that hasn't been working out, it just feels like, you know, that person's never going to become what you want them to be. That job is never going to pay off in the way that you want it to pay off. There's a need here to acknowledge that things that haven't worked out yet, it's because they're not going to work out at all. So Sagittarius, be very mindful of things that you might still be clinging to. Be very mindful of long festering things that no longer serve and no longer and recognize. I think really, Sagittarius, when you think about it, you'll recognize that part of what maybe there's a sense of loss or sense of not being without, I think it comes from this thing. It comes from this thing that you're still just holding on to, this thing that you're still like clinging to and want to have work out, and it's not going to. Sagittarius, I'd say all things old, all things that you been waiting on forever, this week says to recognize that they just need to be released. Recognize that these things need to be let go of. And with that, there's a lightness, there's a joy that comes back. Even if there's a little bit of a void that's left by this thing not being there anymore, there's still a strong sense that you have the ability to build, you have the ability to grow, and acknowledging that you have the ability to cultivate your own garden and create what it is that you want for yourself. And then Sag, by the end of the week, we have the 4 of Wands. So this is great energy. This is celebrating. This is going into the weekend, celebrating yourself, celebrating your accomplishments, drinking every night because we drink to our accomplishments, right? With the 4 of Wands, we feel comfort, we feel secure, we feel a sort of homecoming energy, right? Like difficulty has passed, like strife has passed, like it could be as a result of recognizing that these things that are not good for you anymore, you're just letting go of. The 4 of Wands says to celebrate yourself, celebrate life. enjoy yourself, right? This says that you've been through a lot. And again, for the people who've been like having recent accomplishments, this is a way to remind yourself of how dope you are. This is a opportunity, like, you know, when we celebrate things, it's to validate something, right? It's to remind ourselves of what we've achieved and what we've accomplished. And Sagittarius, this weekend says to be optimistic and to count your blessings and forget about minor losses, forget about things that haven't been paying off. There's bigger picture things here for you to celebrate. There's bigger picture things for you to be happy about. There's reason to feel optimistic. There's reason to be hopeful. There's reason to celebrate life, right? At the bottom of the here's what we've been talking about, Sag. At the bottom of the deck, it's the Five of Cups. So from the beginning, I was saying, why is there this feeling of sadness? Here, what we have here, Sag, is the epitome of sadness, of depression, of sorrow, of feeling of just being without, of not having what you think you want. And I think that needs to be emphasized here, Sag, because at the bottom of the deck, this is what we're coming away from, right? This is sort of the basis of what we're feeling. So what you need to remember here, Sagittarius, is that there's a difference between what you really need and what you thought you wanted and what you needed. And so to remind yourself here this week, Sagittarius, that the things you wanted weren't going to work out. The things that you wanted were not what you needed. And there's sorrow. You can grieve the loss of them, but again, this is like you're not meant to have those, right? You have two hands and two cups here. That's what you're meant to pick up and go forward with, and to feel joy and feel excitement for life, because you have a lot of reason to, all right? All right, so Sag, June tarot scopes are coming out this week. Keep an eye out for those, and you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye. What's up, Capricorn? I'm Chris. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 3rd to June 9th. All right, guys, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it here. We got 3 cards to take us through the week. Let's see what we got going on for you guys. All right, Capricorn. So starting out the week with the 7 of Wands. I think you're going into this week, Capricorn, really fired up. I think you're optimistic. I think you maybe had some clarity or revelations or just reorienting of your focus. Reorienting of your focus. I think that's right. Where you're feeling like you're driven, you feel like you know what you want, you feel like you need to know what you need to do to get it. And this feels really motivated, really inspired, really active, really proactive. I think, Capricorn, there's also maybe a little bit of showing off or just like feeling yourself. Which is good. With the 7 of Wands, we not only face obstacles, but we know that we have what it takes to handle them. We have the energy it takes to handle them. We have the foresight. We have the understanding of where things go. So Capricorn, going into this week, I think you're going to feel ready to tackle issues. This is a great week to take care of longstanding things that have been sitting on your mind. Maybe having certain conversations that been needing to have. Maybe like just taking certain steps, like sending that job application, asking that person out. Whatever it is, Capricorn, at the beginning of the week, it's asking you. The cards are asking you to take that step, to do that thing, to do that difficult thing. And I think you're going to, because I think you feel like you have the strength and the power and the energy to do so. You might not have been feeling that way for a while, Capricorn. It may have been feeling like you don't maybe totally have the energy to deal with certain things or the wherewithal and all that stuff. But this week, Capricorn, I see is like tackling issues, taking care of business, doing the hard things that you need to do, that you've known that you've needed to be doing. Perfect. Middle of the week, Capricorn, we have Queen of Cups. Now, why did I say perfect? I think I said perfect because I think with this tackling of things, you feel like this sense of calm with the Queen of Cups. There's a sense of composure. There's a sense of being energetically and emotionally situated and balanced and secure and sort of self-nurtured. Middle of the week, Capricorn, I think there's a lot of comfort here. I feel like for many of you, this could be time spent with family. This could be time spent with friends. Like a lot of good times, a lot of pleasure. Also though, Capricorn, with the Queen of Cups, there's a strong sense here of intuition. There's a strong sense of knowing yourself, knowing your needs, knowing your desires, knowing your wants. So in the middle of the week, Capricorn, sort of feeling very grounded in and knowing what you need to do next, right? Knowing what you need to, where you need to go, knowing what moves you need to make next. I think the middle of the week has you feeling very, very sure of yourself, very confident of yourself, in yourself, very capable, very protected, very loved, very nurtured, right? But also like self-love and self-nurturing with this card. The Queen of Cups cares for people. She nurtures, she cares for herself. She cares for her heart. So Capricorn, whether it's business or family, friends, love, whatever, being really motivated to care for the things that make you feel happy, being very motivated to care for yourself and to put yourself on a pedestal, to put your happiness as a priority, to put your well-being as a priority in your life. End of the week, Capricorn, Prince of Wands. So I love this. So this takes that sort of difficult energy, this sort of really internal emotional energy that happens here. Now it's outward. Now this is, I want to talk about feeling yourself. The Prince of Wands is arrogant in a way. He has this bravado about him. But with regards to you guys, I think that what it brings about is a sort of confidence and an easygoing nature about what comes next for you, where to go, feeling like you can just tackle anything. The Prince of Wands is a great way for you guys to go into the weekend feeling very accomplished, feeling like you know what you need to do, feeling like you've done everything you can to be your best self, and like knowing that you've been your best self. And there's a lot of sense here, guys. I don't know what I'm picking up like with these cards, just this bravado, this sense of self-assuredness this week, this sense of confidence, this sense of on the surface, everyone's going to say, Capricorn, of course, feels that way, but we're all human and we all get knocked off our pedestal sometimes. But Capricorn, there feels like this week is going to the end of the week is a real stabilizing energy this week. There's a real coming to self this week. There's a real coming to knowing your power, knowing your strength, knowing what you're capable of, and not being afraid to kind of show that off a little bit and let people know who you are and what you're about. There we go. Bottom of the deck, why this is all happening, Capricorn, is the Five of Cups. So there's been a period of sadness. There's been a period of internal, like looking inside, of dwelling on things, or maybe brooding a little bit with the Five of Cups. So now it makes perfect sense why there's this sense of like almost arrogance or confidence, because it's that sort of confidence that comes after a period of not feeling so great. Where, if you have a friend who's been through a hard time and they're kind of gloating a little bit, and you let them gloat because they kind of been through it, and you want them to actually feel good about themselves and feel proud and feel accomplished. This is the energy that we're getting this week, Capricorn. Having gone through some struggles, having gone through some sadness, and now having the energy to tackle things and take care of things and handle your business, and it's going to show, and you're going to feel it, and the whole world is going to see it. All right, Capricorn, so this week, look out for your horoscopes for June, and you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hey Aquarius, I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly reading for June 3rd to the 9th. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it this week, guys. As you know, we have 3 cards taking us through the week. Let's see what we got in store for you guys here. All right, so Aquarius, starting off the week with the Hanged Man. This is like a period of rest. This is a period of reflection. I know in our readings, Aquarius, we've been talking about a lot of planning for the future, a lot of like working beneath the surface, sort of biding our time. And the beginning of this week, Aquarius, has you having these experiences of sort of rest, of sort of mental rest, right? Like it doesn't mean that you're not working or you're not doing things, but you're allowing yourself some sort of reprieve, right? Where you're not going to worry about something right now, I feel like, with the Hangman. The Hangman allows you to just sort of reflect, right? To sort of take some time out. This could be actual time off of work, or more likely what it is just sort of allowing yourself to check out a little bit, allowing yourself to not take things too seriously. With the Hangman, there's like growth and learning and understanding, but it sort of comes in the future. In this place, you're sort of just in that moment of learning, of figuring things out, of taking time off. So Aquarius, in the beginning of the week, I think being very reflective, being very okay with changing your perspective on things, right? With the Hangman, we kind of flip our world upside down. We sort of get more pensive. We sort of start to consider different angles and different perspectives. So Aquarius, there might be some problems in your life or some hindrances that need a sort of different perspective, that sort of need you to sort of open your mind and expand to other possibilities, other options, to get creative, in a word, right? About where things are going and what's happening for you, and you know, being expansive in your thought process, being open-minded, let's say. Middle of the week, Aquarius, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is sort of a big week for you guys here. I think that we're on the cusp of change. And I know, again, that's been coming up a lot, but with these two cards, we are literally about to change. Things are changing for the better. There's a sort of brightness here. There's a sort of illumination with your energy this week. There's a sort of, and I see that as both a mental understanding and a mental awareness, sort of like an epiphany or an understanding of things, but also like a sort of radiant energy to you guys. I feel like that's what I'm feeling, is like just this energy is almost like your aura is just expansive. It's glowing. You're feeling good. You're feeling strong. You're feeling capable and confident. With the Wheel of Fortune in the middle of the week, we're having experiences where now that our perspective is changing, but also our life is changing, right? So this might be a week where plans are laid for the future. There might be a week where you start to make movements towards the future. The Wheel of Fortune is things starting to come into being. It's our luck changing for the better. This middle of the week, you guys might have some luck. You might have, if you've been having heavy feelings, feeling those things light coming off of you and being lightened up a little bit. It's sort of like coming out of this place of thinking and reflecting to now putting into action, to now having movement. The Wheel of Fortune in the middle of the week says you guys are ready for a big change. And I mean like a big change, right? Like location or getting married or those kind of big life events. I feel like in the middle of the week, your mind is going to be on that, Aquarius, and you're going to be thinking about what brings happiness to you, what your definition now of prosperity is and abundance. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, that's going to have changed. I think what you thought you wanted a year ago is not going to be what you want now. And this week brings into realization what now is what you want. What now is the thing that brings you pleasure? What now is your definition of success? What now is your definition of happiness? There's a sort of redefining for yourself this week, Aquarius, of where you need to go and where you should be now. Again, the emphasis is now, right? Power of now. What are we looking at now, Aquarius? And I think for a lot of you guys, that's going to be something different than maybe what you expected, or maybe than what you usually have had your mind on. End of the week here, guys, we have the Three of Pentacles. So taking all of that feeling of change and creativity, the Three of Pentacles is creativity embodied. This weekend, guys, I think you're going to be sort of hustling, putting work into your projects, putting work into your creative endeavors, putting work into your career, and putting work into your life, right? With this new vision of what you want, with this new vision of what you need, with this new vision of who you are now, now you start to make, like, fast, Aquarius. It's like once you have the epiphany, it's like you're moving towards it. So this week, Aquarius, think very carefully about who you are and what you're about and what you really want, because by the end of the week you have this energy to sort of make it real. You have this energy to start like there's a lot of forward movement here, guys, right? It's interesting that we start the week with the Hangman, which is kind of in place and stationary, and then now we have this wheel that's moving forward, and with the Three of Pentacles, we're creating, we're building. So Aquarius, this week is a building week. It's about what you know now, about who you are, what you want, and how we take the steps towards that. And you see at the bottom of the deck, Aquarius, is the Eight of Pentacles. So what this is saying is you've been working a lot, and you've been having your kind of focus and eye on a particular thing. And what I feel like now, Aquarius, is that you sort of hit like it's time to start reorienting your focus, right? This is never something I've thought about with the Eight of Pentacles before. It's usually a card of focus and work and pleasurable work. But for me right now, it's almost as if like this guy is so intently focused on this thing that he kind of needs to realize that he's built it. And he's kind of come to the end of what he wanted to create for himself, right? If he just looks up, he realizes that his work is done. And so now, Aquarius, your work is done. The work you've been doing is done. It's time for a new chapter. It's time for what comes next. It's time for a complete shift in what you've been building and what you need to build for yourself going forward, right? Aquarius, I love you guys. Keep an eye out this week for June tarot scopes that's coming your way. Have the best week ever. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye. What's up, Pisces? I'm Chris. Welcome to your weekly reading for June 3rd to June 9th. All right, so this week we're just going to jump right into it. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on for you guys. We have 3 cards to take us through the week. So let's see where we're starting. Beautiful. So Pisces, in the beginning of the week, we have the Fool. So this is, of course, about new beginnings and new starts. But to me, there's like this joy here when I look at the Fool. There's this sort of excitement about life. So this week, maybe it's like residual, like from the weekend, Pisces, feeling really happy, feeling good, feeling secure, feeling like you're on the right path, right? So the beginning of the week has us, I think, embracing also a way that life is new now, right? So what I mean by that is maybe Pisces, you've been going through it for a little while, maybe you've been struggling, and now there's almost like this attitude here of abundance, of this attitude of my life can be happy, my life can be good, I can have all the things that I want. You can have all the things that you want. And so Pisces, I think that this is like an excitement for life itself. I think that there's like a sense here in the beginning of the week of unlimited possibilities. And what I think that means for you guys is that you might be reflecting on where things are going for you. You might be reflecting on what comes next. Now that you have this energized spirit, where do we go from here? What do we do with that, right? What are the plans that we lay? It's like the world is wide open at your feet, Pisces. And now the beginning of the week is asking you to sort of ask yourself, right? Where we go? What are we doing? Now that we kind of have this, like, now that it feels like almost like you maybe have been stuck for a little while, like your feet have been stuck in the mud and now you're out of the mud. So it's like, where to now? Where are we going? What's next? Middle of the week, Pisces, we have the 10 of Wands. So I feel like particularly with regards to your work, there might be a little bit of heaviness in the middle of the week. The 10 of Wands is pressure that we put on ourselves sometimes. But right now I'm feeling like this is other people putting pressure on you. So Pisces, in the middle of the week, you might feel like overwhelmed with work responsibilities. If it's not, for most of you, I think that we are talking about career, but this could be just responsibilities in general that feel overwhelming, that feel draining, that feel like sucking the life out of you, or taking away a little bit of this joy that you might have been experiencing in the beginning of the week. But remember though, Pisces, that we do have this openness, we do have this ability to be expansive in our thoughts and to consider options and to consider what our future is going to be. So in other words, what I'm trying to say, Pisces, is it doesn't have to be like this, right? If there are things that are weighing you down, the energy here is to not try to bear it, right? To not try to just suck it up and grin and bear it. Sort of like tell this little motherfucker on your back to like hop off, bro. Like get off. Like Pisces, I think this week is sort of I think in this is an assertion, right? It's sort of knowing your limits, knowing your boundaries. With the 10 of Wands, we very often take on too much. We often don't advocate for ourselves and our boundaries. So in the middle of this week, Pisces, I think it's important for you to have a healthy work-life balance, to make sure people aren't putting too much on you, and not try to take up too much more than you should because, like, you want to impress somebody, or you don't want to be, what's the word? You don't want to be abrasive. You don't want to tell people no. Just go ahead this week, Pisces, and let that burden drop. You need to let the things go that are making you feel heavy. You need to let the things go that are feeling like a burden, right? Because with the Fool, this is like complete lighthearted energy, and you can't let like the material, and this is like big life. This is major arcana, right? So this is in the bigger picture of our life. We're getting lighter. We're starting fresh. We're starting new. And Pisces, you have so much opportunity. You have so much to create with this that, if something like you have to sort of approach certain things this week that are too much for you as if like you have other options, right? Like you have the resume to go to a different job if you're not getting treated well, if you're not getting paid well, right? Like you're good looking, you can get what you need from a relationship from somebody else if someone's not giving you what you need. So Pisces, keep in mind like to have this attitude this week of knowing what you deserve to carry and knowing what you don't. And perfect Pisces, at the end of the week, Prince of Wands. So this is telling me that you guys are going to assert yourself. This is telling me that you are going to draw the line. The Prince of Wands doesn't take shit from anybody. He knows what he's about. He knows what he has to offer. He knows his worth, almost to a point of little arrogance here, right? So Pisces, at the end of the weekend, and also there's a lightheartedness too here, right? There's a fun, like look at the smile on his face. This is like the bro at the bar, like having a beer at the end of a long work week where he accomplished something. I think the end of the week, Pisces, you're going to be ready to have fun because you worked hard and because you asserted yourself, because you handled situations the way you're supposed to, because you took care of business and you don't let people walk all over you right now. You don't let people take advantage of you, even if it's your job, right? You don't let that happen to you. Owning your power, owning what you have to offer, owning your strength. And I think that when you do that, you start to have power over things and you start to recognize that you have options and there are possibilities and you have a good time and life becomes more lighthearted. You start to feel yourself, you start to feel your power and your strength. And at the bottom of the deck, Pisces, we have the sun. So the reason this is all happening is because you've been feeling happy, you've been feeling joy, you've been seeing all the beautiful things life has to offer. It's almost as if the sun is illuminating the world. And now with that, you see all the possibilities. You see you don't have to put up with stuff anymore. And you take control of things and you take control of your life and you have power to move forward. And you have this sort of bravado about you, which should be celebrated, guys. All right, Pisces, have the best week ever. I'll talk to you soon. Check out your June tarot scopes coming out this week and have a good one.